Rule number 1. Do not flash the team. Frags don't have friendly fire, but flashes do. That hit marker might be your teammate, so watch where you throw or buddy just might lose his life over it. And then when y'all get back to the lobby, it's gonna be looking like this. So don't do it. That is the first of the unspoken rules of the finals. Things that you're not gonna learn from the tutorial because it's not necessary for them to tell you that early on, but you kind of figure it out by playing depending on how you play. Combination of what I came up with after part 1, because this is part 2, and also the comments from part 1. And there's no particular order between part 1 and 2, so you can just watch part 1 after this one. It's all good. But yeah, rule number 1, don't flash your team. Rule number 2, you go in settings, you can find reverse flash. That way, if you don't want your screen to turn white when the flash hits you, you can just have it turn black. Some people think that their monitor is turning off when this happens, but it doesn't even last that long. You'll be alright. Number 3, when you see some mines on the cash out, don't shoot them just yet. Don't shoot all of them. Shoot the glitch mines. But the others, you can really leave them. That's just extra defense for you if you know there's multiple teams coming, or even if you don't know, because there's so many times when a team will try to pull up in the last like 15 seconds when they had no chance of getting it anyway. They just want to be there and shoot people, so leave them on there. And I was just talking about mines in part 1 too. I was talking about making them yellow for the yellow walls. So somebody else in comments suggested making them white for the stone surfaces, which also works. Hadn't even thought of that. So match your colors. Number 5, let's say you're chasing somebody and you got them on low health, you're just trying to get the last couple of shots. You'd be surprised how much distance you can make just slide jumping around the corner. Even as a heavy, like every class, this will help you out. Just catching people, getting a couple extra shots off, even if it's just to stop them from healing. It'll help. Movement in general, like if you use one of the zip lines, you can jump early off it and it'll give you a little speed boost. And then when you hit the ground, you jump, just keep the momentum going. All the movement in the game that is there is momentum based. That and climbing things you didn't think you could climb in the first place. And any you can think of, leave them in the comments. Might as well like the video too. But number 6, if you see these red barrels, you can just shoot the top and they'll blow up in place. And on top of that, if you just, like let's say I got knocked over, you can just pick it up. If you look straight down, jump and then place it, it'll land like standing up, so then you can shoot the top of it, it'll blow up in place. Next one, something I firmly believe, some people probably won't even like it, just try things for yourself. It's not always about what's best, it's not always about metas and just whatever is going to guarantee you a win, quote unquote, just for the sake of it being fun. Because once the game stops being fun, it's like, what's the point of booting it up in the first place? Like, I didn't think much of the bow when it first came out, but I mean, not just this season, last season too, but I've been getting cooked by bow players. I don't know what they're on, but they on something and they doing well with it. Or even last night, I was trying to use the model again. They don't massacre my boy. I don't know what happened to that thing, but I feel like it's just, I don't even like it no more. That was my favorite gun. Up until whatever change they did to the spread, no, but I was trying the Cerberus instead, and I actually kind of like it. It still doesn't hit quite hard enough, but I had some fun with it at least, so I'm like, yeah, I'll just try to use this for a while, because ever since the model got changed, I was like, I've been missing something. That's why most of my clips be the F-car, bro, because I was always F-car or model, or in the beginning it was like AK or model, but it was always one of the two. Now I just be defaulting to the F-car. And the FAMAS too, I still like the FAMAS. Or even like dual blades. I'm not really big on the melee weapons, but they can be fun too. But yeah, just try stuff for fun. And if you end up liking it enough to use it like more often, cool. If not, whatever. Next one, chat put me onto this while I was streaming. Night mode in the audio settings makes footsteps louder. Been hearing footsteps ever since. And I could not ever hear them before. Maybe very faintly, but most of the time it would be my teammates. So I was just like, I didn't even really listening for footsteps until I started using night audio. That's how big of a difference it was. Number 10, get your keybinds right. I don't know how big of a deal this is with a controller or how much customization there is to that. I know like on PlayStation, you can go like into the PlayStation settings and switch stuff up, but I feel like it plays a bigger role on mouse and keyboard. Like for me, just like the loadout row, I use Q for the specialization, the front side mouse button for my gun, and I use the scroll wheel, like scroll up or down, either way, just use the second slot. The back side mouse button is for the third slot, which I play medium a lot, so that it's a defib, makes it easier to access. And then the fourth slot is just the number 4. The one number I can reach comfortably. I've never been able to use 1, 2, and 3. I gave up on that when I first started playing mouse and key, to be honest. But I mean, for a controller too, I know y'all have like the whole scroll wheel thing, so that's why I think it's not as important, but I'd imagine there's something that you can do to make it more comfortable for yourself and just easier to memorize. Also, a PC thing on 11, if you have crossplay on and you have console teammates, they can't see your text chats, so don't bother. Now 12 is for the sword dashers. I don't even like y'all, but I will help y'all out just because someone left y'all a nice little comment. It's really dashes in general, but I just don't like sword dashes. Anyways, don't use all 3 of your dashes to engage in a fight. Always save at least one in case you miss shots or whatever. Yeah. Live longer, basically. Now, next 3 are all from the same comment. First of 3 at 13. Coordinate your cooldowns with teammates. So if you got 2 jump pads, one person puts one down, y'all all take it. And then when you get to the next like slanted surface and you use the next one, instead of like 2 jump pads being right next to each other, or you got a zip line being placed right after the jump pad was placed, that sort of thing, just to avoid that. Or my fault, we went through one of these from this comment already. That was the mime one with the stones. But 14 said have a zip or a jump pad, no exceptions. I think there are exceptions. Like having 2 mediums or even 3 on the team is not uncommon. So if you don't want to have it and your teammate has one or both, I'll be doing that, then I think it's fine. And this is one that might make you itch a little bit. Back in part 1, I said don't waste the defib. It's hard to do that if you just don't have it in the first place. Defibs is the most overrated gadget and not needed. Yeah, I don't even use one all the time ever since the nerfs. Like if there's another medium on the team and they have one, I could run without it. I usually just switch it with a pyro nade and I just throw like 3 nades at people. Helps me get more kills. Or like with the last point of the zip line or the jump pad, take one of those out and then I have the defib and I also have an extra nade or whatever it is. One more comment. In the final round, don't put the box in the bigger box. Or as the kids like to say, until the other team has spawned first. That way they spawn further away, takes them longer to get to you. And no, we're not done. Sit back down. I got some extra, quite honestly, useless information that you probably didn't know. Now, let's say you're in the firing range, right? Back in this little forest area, that box, there's a heavy dummy in there. I don't know why, he was just in there. And if you wanted to get a kill on the heavy, specifically with a cash box, it's probably a challenge for the game. It takes this many hits. I forgot to look at the clip before I started recording, so yeah. Also in the training range, there's like these 4 jump pad looking things on the wall, and they have like the cash box spawn right next to it. If you throw the cash box into all 4 of them, they'll just start thumping, like the speakers of an Ultima. You know Honda and Nissan are merging? It's gonna be Ultima drivers with VTEC. If you know what I mean, you know it's gonna get scary. So happy nightmares. That is all that I got. If you missed part 1, it's on the screen now. Subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next one. God bless. Bye.